Well, YouTube, we're down here at the river. Gonna try to catch some fish in here. This isn't my favorite spot in this spot, but I've got some night crawlers, a stringer, an energy drink, I've got some hooks, and I've got some weights, a couple weights. So just something basic here. We're gonna see what we can get. I think the limit is 5 trout, maybe 6, but I know for sure 5, 1 over 15, and that's what I'm fishing for here today. And I'll probably keep bluegill or bass or some other things I get as well. Got ourselves just a basic hook and weight combination here. I think we'll have some luck today. It's right before a storm. Regardless, I'm sure we'll get enough to have a little meal tonight with them. And I can say that I've seen some rainbow trout caught in this river here, the spring river, that are probably, I've seen some caught that were probably close to 10 pounds. I've seen some 6 for sure. And I think sometimes people catch ones that are 6 and they just say they're 10. But regardless, we're gonna catch some fish here. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll catch a fish for sure. And this ain't really my favorite spot, but sometimes I have some luck down here. It seems like a good spot to shoot a video because it's got a nice rock ledge. Set the camera on here. Not having much luck. I had 2 little bites, but I think they might have just been bluegill, so see what we can get here. Got a little one on here. Let's see what it is. I think it's just a little trout. See if it's a keeper or not here. Oh yeah, a little trout. Let's see here. Yeah, we got him right here. Maybe 10 inches. Yeah. There ain't no limit on the size in here, so I probably will fry them up. But there's one so far. The trout are some beautiful fish, I will say that, and they stock them right here. So this is a good eating size right here. If you get 5 of these, it's a good meal. Little bluegill down here in the water. It actually looks like a pretty nice size sunfish. I'm trying to catch it. Just throw it on the stringer. But it's kind of just not that interested. It's kind of just nibbling on it. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to the Alright guys, new spot here. I usually do pretty well up here, but just wanted to show you guys changing spots here. Wasn't catching too much down there. Had a few little nibbles. There's a lot of spawning bluegill and sunfish in the water, but I think we'll be able to get the limit before sundown, maybe. I'm already getting a couple bites up in there, so that's a good sign. I think we're gonna have good luck in this spot. That one kind of just bit right there in the water, just not very far out. It was following. You'll get a couple tiny bluegill like that once in a while. Just had a little bite. Got one right here. Ah, dang, that was a nice one. Yeah, we'll keep casting over there. Got ourselves a little bluegill here. It ain't much, but we'll bring that one home. And we got it. Holy cow, holy moly, wow, wow, oh my, wow, wow, wow. Okay guys, we got a rock bass out of the snag there, and there was a big old like 3 or 4 foot snake that just came right down here, went right into the water. I mean, that freaked me out, holy cow. I had the fish on, I was focused on the fish, and I seen that sucker come down this way, right off the side of this rock. Like, I'm right here, and that thing just came down like that. I mean, that was crazy. But I got a little rock bass here. Another one to throw on the stringer. It seems like they're all sitting up in that sandbar, so I might keep catching them, and maybe I'll get a big old, rainbow out of here too. Kind of let it sit for a sec and reel a little bit, and hopefully no more snakes this time. Man, that was weird. Got one. Little rainbow trout this time. Yeah, we'll get him up on the floor here. All right, we got him right here. He's flopping around, he's flopping around. We'll get the stringer out of the water here. That one's probably a little bigger than the last one. Not a bad fish. Well hooked on that one. Yeah, I think that rock bar there is probably the trick, it seems like to me. There's the stringer of them so far. Toss them in there. This river, the water stays about 59 degrees year round, so the fish stay cold in the water. It's like you don't really need to bring a cooler, in my opinion. Little goggle, some people call them a goggle eye, I call them a rock bass. We'll throw them on the stringer though, good eating. Got another little bluegill here, I'll throw them on the stringer. Throw them on the stringer. Yep. There's the stringer so far. Now if you score the bluegills, you can actually get a pretty good meal off probably 10 of them small ones. But we'll keep on fishing. Wow, I don't know if I got any of that on video, but I just got this pretty nice one. Probably 13 inches maybe, bigger than the other one, so that's a good eater right there. Now the last 2 trout I had on, that one I just caught and the one prior were pretty big, good sized fish, so one that got off, so I have a good feeling. Got a little something on here, we'll see what it is here, just a little bluegill. We'll throw it on the stringer. Just a little bluegill. Pigs will like to eat that one. Alright, we got another one here. Nice little one, probably close to 12 inches. It's really fighting a little bit. I didn't get it filmed very well, but it'll be a nice one for the stringer here. Good fish. Nice fish right here. And he'll be a good eater. Yeah, I tried to get the camera on, but you know, sometimes it's easier said than done. There's the old stringer right there, getting pretty full. I've got 4, I only need 1 more rainbow trout on there. Got a little bluegill here. This one I'll probably throw back. I don't even feel like messing with throwing them on the stringer. Usually I'd bring them home, but I already got 3 or 4 bluegill on the stringer. I don't need a bunch of them right now. Sometimes I like to freeze the bluegill though. Got one. I got a nice one right here. This one feels, oh, that felt like a good one right there. Man, I think that was a nice big trout. Oh man. We'll get another one. They're biting good right now. Ooh, that's a good one right there. It feels good anyway. Oh, it's a little bigger bluegill. We'll throw him on the stringer. He's a little bigger. There's the stringer now, looking pretty big. Right off the point there, that seems like a nice spot for a good fat trout. One good fat trout. Got something. Feels like a little bluegill. I'd probably like to put a little bigger hook on, but actually this stringer I'm using, believe it or not, I caught about a 2 or 3 pound trout and it had that stringer in its mouth. Kind of funny. Not today, it was a different day, but oh, I got a nice one. Feels heavy. Feels good and heavy here. Oh my, that was a nice little trout there. That would have been, that was definitely a trout. I don't think that one was a bluegill. Sit down here a little bit. As you guys can see, I'm just getting her all situated. My legs are, I was kind of in a catcher's position there for about an hour. Something's picking it up here, I think. Felt like something was picking it up. Little bluegill here. Caught quite a few of them. I could probably have a whole stringer of them, but I don't got to be greedy. I got enough on that stringer there. But I really don't like throwing them back. It's actually pretty good practice to take some of them out of here. A lot of people wouldn't believe that, but it's true. They're biting pretty good. Having a lot of fun here, actually. There's a better fish right there. Oh yeah, it's a nice rock bass. We'll keep him. Bring him home. Little rock bass there. Nice fish. These always have a little thickness to them. Rock bass are considered what's called a rough fish. But they don't seem very rough to me. They seem like a pretty nice fish to eat and catch. I kind of like them. I much prefer having them in a pond compared to bluegills. Nice. Bigger rocky there. Bigger rocky there. Nice one looking there. Good size. The bigger trout I've noticed, they got a little different bite than the small ones. Myself a little bluegill here. I was just casting up in the current there. Throw him back. I don't like throwing bluegills back because they're kind of invasive actually. A lot of people don't realize it, but they take a lot of the habitat from the trout and the bass. They spawn so much more. They're really a very invasive fish. People don't quite realize that fact. They think that bass and trout bite all the bluegill. That couldn't be farther from the kid. Man, I got a bad. That ain't a good tangle right there. That ain't good, guys. I got a fish too. Oh no, I got a snag. Okay. Ah, this is a nightmare right here. Look at that one. Not the best. Felt heavy. Just felt heavy, that's all. Another little goggle eye. Oh yeah. Fat boy. Fat little goggle eye. They're biting pretty good, the goggle eye are. They're pretty fun to catch. Ow. Alright, I'm probably about ready to go here, but there's the final stringer right there. I'll probably lay them all out when I get home and clean them. We got 4 trout so far. I might catch one more, but the battery on the camera is going to run out, so that's that. Alright guys, here's the fish we got here. 4 trout right here. Nice looking trout. We got 7 rock bass, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 bluegill over here. I might fillet them up. I might just give them to the pigs. We'll see. But just figured I'd show you. I'm not gonna show you a video of me processing these, but I just wanted to show you guys the final catch here. Alright, we got ourselves some lard straight from the jar. I rendered this myself, this lard right here. I've got some cooking oil across the street, and normally I'd mix it 50-50, but 50% cooking oil, 50% lard, just to stretch it a little bit, but this is good for now. Anyway, got some lard. Flour, cornmeal, salt, and chili powder is all that is. It's basically a 50-50 mix of white cornmeal. Lard and beef tallow. I got a nice fat hog up the road, or up the hill. And we got some fish in the bucket here. That is salt water, so that'll pull the blood out a little bit. But I already rinsed it quite a bit, so. Right now the trout I usually cook whole here. So I'm going to throw some of them in the pan now that I got the oil going. I usually cook these trout whole. They don't really need much. You can hear it's pretty loud crackling. Turn it down a little bit, I got it going good. Alright, we got one in there. I'll cook the trout first. I should have a feast of fish here tonight. These should be a pretty nice feast here. One thing with the trout is you want to there's a little gland in the back of the head you don't want to cut, or it will be really nasty tasting. kind of like almost like a really strong anise black licorice style taste. So anyway, just a pro tip there from the pros. Alright, it's cooling down nice. That's actually perfect. So we'll let that side cook, and then I flip them once, and then usually the trout are pretty much done that way. And they don't really cook too long. Maybe 2 or 3 minutes of fish or something like that. I like to get the skin nice and crisp on them. Usually the trout I won't deep fry. If I do, I'll skin them out generally. But I much prefer just cooking them whole. Skin on, just gut them. Nice and easy. There we go. Yeah. So that one's cooking good right there. Let it cook here. And generally, I'll have a fork on hand or something similar to a fork and just kind of check, make sure it's flaking. That way you know it's done. And if it's a little raw, there is no diseases that are transferable from fish to humans. In fact, my neighbor was in the Marines. Well, my ex-neighbor, he moved now. And he said in the survival classes, they say snakes and fish were the safest animals to eat without cooking if you're ever in a survival scenario. So, anyway. Alright, there's one trout there. One trout down. And you'll see it just flakes right off. You can eat it with a fork. Basically flakes right off the bone. It's basically boneless. It's probably not quite fully done actually. So you might it's probably good. I think it's pretty much done. We'll move on to the next one here. But next trout coming up here out of the bucket. Just testing the oil a little bit here. Not the best lighting here, guys, so I apologize for that. Alright. Fish number 2 in the hole there. He's cooking. Yeah, they're a little long for this pan. If I just had a pan that was about 2 inches longer. Sometimes I cut them in half actually when cooking them, but not a big deal. It'll cook. Not a big deal. And once you get the tail kind of pushed down in there, you can get a nice crispy tail on them. I actually like to munch on the tail a little bit. See this one's tail? Right here. It's pretty good. Pretty good eating. It honestly tastes just like a potato chip. See, if you get the tail to curl under, then you can kind of fit them in the pan. But anyway, I'm just gonna... Alright, we got our final 2 trout in the pan. Got 2 done. Looking good. They're looking good. They look nice right there. Now I got some of these rock bass, and I just rolled them in a little egg yolk. Put them in the flour. Put a little bit inside of them. These are scored, so all I did was descale them. I really enjoy doing the fish that way. Roll it in the egg yolk again, and then you get yourself a nice double coat. That makes the layer of fry that you do just a tad bit better when you do it that way and double it down on it. And then all you got to do is just leave that in there. I've still got the trout frying up in the pan, but anyway, that's just an example, guys. You do that for all your fish, and I'll get to it when I'm frying them. Usually I just get some water nearby just to kind of rinse my hands off and give it to the dog or the pigs. Ooh, that actually looks like a nice crisp right there. And this is just pan fried, obviously. So I think I got a couple more of them little fish there. Yeah, get this oil a little hotter. I might have to throw in another spoonful of lard if we get a little too much flour in it, but as long as the flour don't start burning in the oil. And part of my filming, guys, I'm not professional always, but pardon my filming, but it's cooking up nice. You can see nice golden brown there. I might have to throw in a little more lard in the pan, but as long as the flour don't start burning in the bottom of the pan, generally you can keep using the same oil. And I turned up the flame a little bit. Probably put this sucker back on there. All right. Look at that nice golden brown fish. That's going to be good eating right there. And we got one more batch to go, and then we're going to have ourselves a feast and probably have some for breakfast too, because I got more than enough here. All right, so I got the final fish in the pan here. Here's what we got done so far here. It is some excellent fish, and I got a piece of the rock bass right here, this fillet. Hot as can be, but it's excellent eating right there. All right, we got her frying up here. Try some of the scored fish here. You can see it comes right off. You kind of got to eat it similar to the trout and just flake it off the bone. But nice white meat and very good eating right there. Anyway, cook myself a nice. Delicious, guys, delicious. He thinks so too. You can see it flake right off the bone real nice. You get some nice fillets, and you can chomp on the fins too. Real nice way to do it, scoring the fish that way. Now there are two ways to reuse the flour if you have too much. One, you can put it in the Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer for the next time you get some fish. Second thing you can do is you can get a little bowl, put some water or milk in, and make yourself some fry bread while you already got the hot oil. It's a good side with the fish. Give you almost a full meal. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make Bailey famous for YouTube. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching.